I'm Cheryl and welcome back to my channel. It's been super duper long. I think the last time I did a video was like a what's in my bag, because that time I was trying to be consistent but I couldn't be consistent again, and I guess I just really wanted to take some time to really think about what content ideas I actually want to do, because I feel like I've done so many get ready with me's, I've done so many skincare routines and all of that, and so for the past few months I've been going through, I would say, a lot, and there's so much that I would like to say, but of course there is a time and a place for everything. But let's get started to the very beginning of time, where I just finished graduating from uni. Okay, in this video I will be actually getting ready with me, so I'll be doing my makeup while I talk to you guys as well. And of course I got a shout out to my lovely outfit today. Today's outfit is from Supergirl. You guys can also quote my name, Cheryl10, for 10% off your first order. I'm wearing their palazzo pants and of course their slit ribbed tube top, and it's so comfortable. I'm literally in bed, and excuse me because this is my new setup, so this is where I'll be filming my videos from now on. I moved into my new place. This is my daughter's sleeping pen, so yeah. So without further ado, let's get ready, and while we get ready, I'm gonna tell you about our main topic today, which is why you should not pretend like you're fine. So I don't know if you guys noticed, but the person you are now is super correlated to your inner child traumas. It is very correlated to your past, and it's very correlated to the way you've been brought up. I was never somebody who grew up with any family issues whatsoever, but I grew up with so much insecurity in myself and my inability to see my self-value and what I provided to the table, that all I wanted to was pretend to be fine. Okay, when people hurt my feelings, I had no boundaries and I pretended like I was fine. And this has been happening since I was 18, and I guess I kind of just adapted to it and I suppressed it all the way until like now, when I'm like 23. I'm 23 this year, and I realized this year I wanted to make a change, and obviously that's why I decided to create this video. I also decided to go for therapy, and I've learned so much about myself that I didn't know even existed. So the person that I was, like, definitely before giving birth to my daughter, and the person I am now is very, very different. So during my uni days, right, I was alone in a foreign country. I was in Melbourne all alone, and I had nobody there. Okay, I had no family there whatsoever that I could contact in Melbourne. And after I graduated, I decided to move to America. Okay, when I moved to America, I met a guy. Okay, I met a guy. So story time, a lot of you actually don't know this, but so many people ask me, like, why did you get married in 14 days? And you know, why did you make certain decisions, or why did you do this, why did you do that? And I feel that I've never really answered anyone, but I've never felt the need to answer anyone either. But I realized in my therapy sessions that this is actually something that really shaped me, and that's why I'm sharing with you guys today. And I feel that it's very important. Okay, second pointer in today's video, it's very important to point out certain situations that you have been suppressing. Like, I have been suppressing this situation because I didn't want to talk about it because I was so embarrassed. Okay, so when I was in America, I fell in love with a guy. Obviously, you know, teenagers, we fall in love, and I really like this guy. Like, my close friends know that I loved this guy. Okay, like, I fell in love with him so much that I thought I was gonna marry this guy, for real. Like, I thought I was gonna marry this guy, and I was like willing to wait for this man. Like, you know, he wasn't ready to commit. He was basically young. He was telling me like, hey, I'm not ready to commit, and I was like, no, I'm gonna wait for him. I'm gonna wait for him. Okay, until one day, obviously because he wasn't able to commit, obviously I got really sad, and that's when I decided, you know what, I wanna come back to Asia for a holiday. And that is where I came back for a holiday. I came and met my friends, and that's where I met my ex-husband. Okay, and during that time, obviously I wasn't in the best state of mind. Keep in mind, like, we've all been there, and this is why I'm being very vulnerable with you guys and letting you guys know. But I was so lost, I would say. And keep in mind, at that time I was born a Christian. Okay, but during that time of my life, I was the furthest from God that I was ever possible in my life. So during that time I was like literally blinded by everything, and I just thought, you know what, let's just have fun. And that's when I met my ex-husband, and obviously I decided you only live once. You know, I was in a point of my life where I thought I only live once, so YOLO, let's make some decisions that we don't actually mean, and some decisions that, you know, let's just live while we're young, you know. It was like one direction all in my head, and that all came from a place where I was pretending to be okay. Like, I didn't process how I was feeling over certain situations and over certain issues that happened in my life. That's why I suppressed it all, and I guess that was the time of my life where I was still suppressing, because obviously I wasn't thinking straight, you know. And after that, obviously, I found out that I was pregnant, and I feel actually that my pregnancy changed the way I think completely. Like, during my pregnancy, if you knew me during the time of my pregnancy, you would know that the person I am now and the person I was then are two completely different people. Keep in mind also, topic number 3, the people you surround yourself with is literally who you become. If you surround yourself with somebody who is insecure, you become insecure. If you are around somebody who is not of good morals, not of good intent, that is who you become. And during that time of my pregnancy, of course, I was mixing around with different people. I was mixing around with people who did certain things, people who lived a certain lifestyle that obviously was not the way, you know, the Bible says you should live your life whatsoever, okay? And during that time, again, here I admit again, I was definitely, my hormones were raging and I was suppressing my feelings and pretending to be okay. Keep in mind, this is all happening while I didn't even have time to process having a heartbreak in LA from a person that I fell in love with. So instead of processing my feelings, I jumped into something else and put myself in another situation where I will continue to talk about later. So fast forward in my marriage, that's when I realized, okay, you know, for me, I've always seen marriage as something very sacred, you know, like my family, my parents are happily married, you know. I always had a dream since I was young to marry someone who loves me and all, but obviously during this period of my life, all my morals and visions were very blurred. So during the time I was pregnant, my pregnancy honestly until today was a blur. I don't know if I talked about this before, but it was truly a blur, and I wasn't in the right place at all. And I am very, very thankful till today that at least during my pregnancy, I've met some people, I've crossed paths with some people who helped me when I needed it the most, and I'm forever grateful. But fast forward, after I became a mom, that's when shit hit the fan, and I was like, you know what, I gotta stop suppressing how I feel, okay? And for a long time, I feel after I gave birth, I was recovering from the postpartum hormones. I was recovering from my actual body recovery, because when you are breastfeeding all the time, you are losing it, okay? Like, as much as breastfeeding was so pleasant for me and I was pumping and like I had milk, I think mentally I was juggling between the postpartum blues. I was juggling between suppressing my feelings from the past, pretending like I was okay. I was also suppressing the fact and pretending, I don't know, like I just was trying to fit into this like society that I had, and I was trying to adjust to a new life. And as much as I was happy being able to spend time with my daughter. So during that time, keep in mind, my emotions were all over the place. One day I was perfectly fine, so another day I was borderline crying my eyes out. And after time passed, I realized that over time, everything that I did would relate to my daughter. And I guess there was a moment where I just realized, like, you know what, no, I'm not gonna live like that anymore. I'm not gonna live a life where I feel so suppressed by people and my feelings, you know. And I was so worried about what people would think, that I was suppressing my feelings for them. And that is where point number 4 comes. Stop caring about what people think, because for me, I was so caught up in what the media would think, what people would think, that I was like, you know what, I'm gonna stay in an unhappy situation. But I guess it's because I was trying so hard to suppress and pretend so that I would live a life where I had a perfect family, or you know, I am a successful mom, and I was trying to suppress that feeling so bad and pretend like I was happy, but I was not. I was so miserable, and I think I just had a breaking point where I just burst, and I was like, you know what, I'm not gonna live like this anymore. I mean, I didn't even blame others, I blamed myself, because I blamed myself for suppressing all these feelings for such a long time. And that's when I decided, you know what, this has got to change, and I left. And when I left, I had nothing. I started from ground zero, okay? And during that time, I was like, you know what, life can't get any worse than this. It's gonna get better. And that's when I started to work on my own. I hustled on my own, and again, I was still pretending like I was fine, because again, I convinced myself that I was completely fine. I thought I don't need help. I thought, you know what, at that time when I decided to leave, life couldn't get worse. I realized that during the time of my pregnancy, during the time of my marriage, during the time that I fell in love with somebody in LA, all these feelings bundled up and literally have been sitting inside me, okay, for the past like over 3 years, 2-3 years now, and I have never once addressed it. I have never once processed it, and I was just, like I said, pretending that I was fine. I didn't even allow myself to feel feelings. After that, I learned that of course I cannot be doing that, and that's when I decided to take a first step and actually make a change in my head. I started to write a journal every day of things that would come to my mind about situations that I've gone through in the past, whether it was me getting bullied at 12 years old, or whether it was, you know, the guy that I loved in LA, or like, you know, I don't know, my marital issues whatsoever, like whatever memories that came to my mind that was not pleasant moments that I blocked off in my head, because again, you block things off when you're not in the right state of mind. So obviously I blocked a lot of things off, and at the time I wanted to make a change, so I started to write these things out and process them, and I've been working on it, and I'm still currently working on it as well, because it is always a work in progress. But fast forward till today, I have reached a point in my life where if you don't want to work with me, that's fine. If this collaboration didn't work out, that's fine. If you don't want to be my friend and you don't want to be truthful, that's fine. If I'm not invited to the party, that's fine. Before actually processing these feelings, and I'm saying like a lot has happened, like I said, I have so many stories for another time, but what I've learned, summarized, you know, to end the video, is that it took me so long to get to a point where I was like, you know what, if I don't have any of these, it's fine, because I am happy with who I am. I was so caught up in my head about what people thought about me instead of what I thought about myself. Just realizing that I'm gonna stop pretending like I'm fine. Like, I just decided, you know what, I have nothing much to lose anyway. I'm just gonna accept it, and I'm just gonna let it be. Through that process, right, I wouldn't say it's easy, because you really have to let yourself feel, and when you let yourself feel, you'll feel happier with yourself, you'll set boundaries for yourself, you will make decisions that are better for yourself and the people around you that love you and care about you. And for me, the best decision of my life during the toughest time was to run back to God. Like, I was put in a corner where everything was taken away from me. Almost everything was taken away from me, but I was so blessed that God put the right people, my parents, everybody in the right place to help me at the right time, and all I needed was to literally turn back to Him. And that's another story for another day as well. If you know, you've been somebody who has been suppressing how you feel for the longest time, and you know, to the point where you don't even recognize yourself anymore, because I've been there, I've done that, and I know how it feels. Trust me, process, take a sit down. You know, it's not an immediate thing, it takes time. Sit down, buy yourself a nice journal, write down how you're feeling every day. Start with that. Write down, today I feel sad. Then ask yourself, why do you feel sad, and write it down. Why do you feel sad? Write your answer down. And this diary or journal, whatever it is, it's a conversation from you to you. And after that, start to tap into things that, you know, would trigger you. Like, okay, why am I upset? I'm upset. Is it because, is it because my partner made me angry? Or was it because I have something in the past that triggered me, that made me angry with my partner? You know, something like that. Like, dig deep into your thoughts and don't bury them, because I was burying all my pain and misery, and I decided, you know what, I'm not gonna do it anymore. And the moment that I did, I really spent a lot of time like working on it, and I still am. It's still a work in progress. Some days I am sad, and you know, I stress about things that are beyond my control. Ooh, that's another thing. The last tip that I'll give you today is stop stressing above things that are beyond your control. I'm a control freak, so obviously everything I plan has to go my way or the highway, but during this period where I've been writing down, I started to understand like everything does happen for a reason, and it shapes you into becoming who you are meant to be. So if you're somebody that has been always pretending for the past 3 months, 1 year, past week, that everything is okay when it really isn't, it's okay. It's okay to really not be okay sometimes. And I hope you know that my intention was for today was to really sit down and share with you guys on my feelings and what I've been going through. And I hope that whatever I said today, I didn't even have like a script point today for today's video. I just sat down and I had a topic in my head and I wanted to form it. I wanted to just let it run. So I'm sorry if the video is a bit draggy, but I hope that this has helped you if you have been feeling stuck, if you have been feeling like you have no one to talk to. I hope you know that I'm here to hear you out and I know how it feels. And nobody said it's easy, but I promise you it is worth it. When you stop caring and pretending about what people think and pretending like you're okay and just getting through it, that is light at the end of the tunnel. Like, I am in a better place. I am happier now. You know, I may not be at my peak, but I am happier now and I'm rebuilding. I'm constantly trying to improve, and I promise you life gets better. It really does. So I just want to thank you for watching today's video, and I hope you guys enjoyed this. I really hope you enjoyed it. I don't know if this is the kind of content that you will like, but I truly enjoy being able to sit down and share, because that's the whole reason why I started my YouTube channel like when I was 10 years ago, was because I wanted to sit down and be able to share my feelings. And y'all have literally seen me grow. I feel like my life is online and everybody see my history like it's a Google history search engine, you know, and I promise you it gets better. So I wanted to thank you for watching today's video, and I've done my makeup. Maybe I'll do a makeup routine for this, like a proper one, in the days to come. But thank you for watching. I hope you're subscribed, and I hope if you like this video or if you are going through anything, you can feel free to share your thoughts in the comments, and I will see you guys in the next one.